Hey Womblers, this week we're off to Lancaster Gate. It's a Zone 1 station. It opened in the year 1900 and it serves the area of Paddington. These days it's not much to look at. It was changed in 1968, but back in the day it used to look like this. I've just put a picture on the screen, and it was one of the old Harry Bell Measures original stations, so it used to be beautiful. There's a nice history timeline on the window decals outside, which I quite liked. Nice touch. But inside, the concourse, pretty run-of-the-mill. And it was actually closed on the day I went, so I can't show you any footage of the platforms or anything. But a closed platform is not going to stop us, so we're going to womble anyway. Here's our trusty Go Jauntly map. So we're going to start at Lancaster Gate, walk down Bayswater Road, then go down the Long Water, follow along round the Serpentine, and basically just follow the route of the L-shaped body of water there, and then get back to the Italian Gardens and finish up at Lancaster Gate. So along the way we'll see the Peter Pan statue, the Diana Memorial Gardens, and lots of beautiful houses and blue plaques. So let's do it. As you turn west out of Lancaster Gate Station, you'll come across this pub, which is called the Swan. This is an 18th century coaching inn, and this is where they say the saying "one for the road" originated, because they used to stop off here for a drink before taking prisoners to the Tyburn gallows to be hung. From there, we're weaving our way through the back streets. You know I love the back streets. Look at these beautiful buildings. They are iconic. So these are like 1850s Victorian townhouses. Blue plaque alert. You know I love to find a blue plaque. I just love all the architecture around here. These sort of Italian detailed stucco white houses. There's plenty of them. Absolutely beautiful. It's a really affluent area. I mean, to be honest, anywhere that borders any of the parks in London is going to be pricey. We are now at the Columbia Hotel, frequented by the likes of Oasis, Iggy Pop, Amy Winehouse, and the Stereophonics. Oasis even wrote a song about this hotel. There's a track on their Definitely Maybe album called Columbia, and it was based on this hotel because they loved staying here when they were touring. Pretty cool, huh? Just along from the Columbia Hotel, you'll find this little beauty, which is J.M. Barrie's home. You'll see a blue plaque there. I mean, what an absolutely stunning building. You can just see the blue plaque just tucked away there behind that foliage. Barrie lived here from 1900 to 1909, and then after that it was bought by Captain Scott's widow. So it's an absolutely stunning building, Grade 2 listed Regency building. It was an absolute stunner, quite quirky. I love quirky. From there, we're crossing the road and entering Kensington Gardens via Portchester Gate. I love Kensington Gardens. When you go, keep your eyes peeled for these beautiful carved wooden sculptures that have been commissioned by the Royal Parks. They're absolutely stunning. I loved this bench. And then near the Italian Gardens, I found this beetle wooden carving. Absolutely stunning. Talking of stunning, when you get to the Italian Gardens, you'll find this little beauty, which is the Rolls Royce of all ice cream vans. I mean, you know I'm not a big fan of the cars, but I do appreciate this one. And it's the world's first battery-powered ice cream van. How cool is that? Next to the Rolls Royce of all ice cream vans, you'll find this, which is the Italian Gardens. I mean, look at this. It's absolutely stunning. So this is a water garden that was established in 1860, and it was a gift from Prince Albert to Queen Victoria. Nearby there's a statue to Edward Jenner, who was the inventor of the smallpox vaccine. There's also a Queen Anne's alcove, which was designed by Sir Christopher Wren in 1705. So absolutely stunning gardens. And then in recent years, it's been renovated and refurbed using some money donated by Tiffany & Co, as in Tiffany. Breakfast at. I mean, I'd love to come here for breakfast. Moving on, we're now headed in search of some parakeets, which I did find and I did film, but you can't see them hidden in the green trees. But I can assure you there are green parakeets in Kensington Gardens, and they're in this tree. And apparently, if you take an apple, they like apples. From there, we're following the route towards the Long Water. Look at this lovely couple holding hands. I love to see it. This is the Long Water. So there's two lakes in Hyde Park. slash Kensington Gardens. You've got the Longwater and you've got the Serpentine, and they're divided by the Serpentine Bridge. Over there you'll see the arch. I'll take you there later. Next we've got the Peter Pan statue, which was commissioned by J.M. Barrie himself. He loved Kensington Gardens and lived nearby when we saw his house earlier. And so he wanted this statue put here in Kensington Gardens because the gardens inspired his story Peter Pan. Just along from the Peter Pan statue is the Diana Memorial Fountains, which are absolutely beautiful, lovely peaceful place to come and a great place to take your socks off and dip your feet in. They don't mind that. Apparently they encourage it. We're now at the Serpentine Bridge, which divides Hyde Park and Kensington Gardens and divides the Longwater and the Serpentine. So once we go under this bridge, we're no longer in Kensington Gardens and we'll be entering Hyde Park. So we're going to walk through the bridge, head out of Kensington Gardens and head on to the Serpentine and enter Hyde Park, basically. So this is the Serpentine and you can take pedalows out on it. I've done that. It's quite good fun. There's the Serpentine Bridge and this is the Serpentine Lido. So you can go for a swim in there. There's a swimming club that was established in 1864 and they've even got showers. How cool is that? Okay, we're now walking past the Queen Caroline Memorial. Apparently the Longwater and the Serpentine were created for Queen Caroline. I'm not quite sure how you create a body of water, but the Serpentine and the Longwater are part of the old River Westbourne and the old River Tyburn. So they, I'm guessing, dammed them off and made this lake for Queen Caroline. We're in Hyde Park now. Now, I did do a reel and a video on Hyde Park Corner. So for more sort of footage of Hyde Park, check out my other video. Or you can see some horse riders here on the bridleway, because obviously, there's bridleways throughout the park. So it's lovely when you end up seeing them. From there, I stumbled on this beautiful, quaint little cottage, which I loved. I love the architecture, and I just thought this was beautiful. It's a little private residence. Imagine living here. We're now leaving Hyde Park and heading back under the Serpentine Bridge into Kensington Gardens. So we've basically looped round back on ourselves and we're on our way, headed back to Lancaster Gate Station now, on the other side of the river. Here's Thomas More's Arch. Remember, we saw this from the other side of the river earlier on. It's quite a modern-ish sculpture, 1978. And I like where they've placed it because if you stand in front of it, you get a beautiful view of Kensington Palace through the archway. And that's pretty much it for our tour. We're just heading out of the gates now. But before we go out of the gate, I just wanted to show you this one last really cool thing. Now, it didn't photograph very well. I found it really hard to capture it on film. But if you're right outside Kensington Lancaster Gate and you look through the fence, you can see the old Victorian pet cemetery and you can just make out the tiny little tombstones there. I'm sorry the footage is so bad, but if you go in person, have a little look through the gate and you'll see lots and lots of miniature tombstones because this is where the Victorians had a little pet cemetery and it's super cute. And that's a wrap. We're back at Lancaster Gate Station now. Like I said earlier, I couldn't get into the station to do any filming, but I have got some footage here of me going on the tube through the station because the tube driver announced that we weren't stopping, and so I had to get off at Queensway and walk. But from what I can see through the windows, it looks like a pretty bog standard Central Line station. Thank you so much for watching. I do new stations every week, so I'm on a mission to visit and explore all 272 stations on the London Underground. And I visit them and then I do these little videos once a week. So if you like this, subscribe. I've not got that many subscribers. My channel's really popular on Instagram. I've got over 1,000 subscribers, 1,600, but not so many on here. And I'd love to have some more followers on here because I think my videos on here are better because they're longer and more comprehensive. So yeah, if you like this, follow along. It's just one video a week and a couple of shorts. So if this looks like your cup of tea, come and join me. I'm not a proper historian or a proper trained tour guide or any of those things. I'm just a random girl that loves London and likes exploring and just sharing what I'm doing, really, because I think London's fab and I know it quite well, but I don't know all of it. And so I started this little project for myself and then started really enjoying it, so I'm sharing it, and yeah, other people seem to be enjoying it as well. So if you like this, then give me a like, and don't be shy, leave me a comment. My videos are getting better all the time, I think, and I'm adding new little bits and pieces, but I'm new, I'm learning, and so yeah, I appreciate the feedback. So leave me a comment, leave me a like, and subscribe. Thanks.